Every week, I meet someone from a new career path to find out what it takes to work in that industry. This week, I'm at Morrisons. Hello and welcome back to our latest career service, Which Way Now interview. I'm joined by a very special guest today, Jamie from Morrisons. Hi Jamie, thank you for joining us today.
No
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Awesome, that's good. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Jamie Johnson. I'm a store manager for Morrisons. I've been a store manager for about 5 years now. I've been with the business for 28 years.
That's
Started in Safeways PLC, and then they took over from Morrisons in 2005. So I've been with them for quite some time. I've done a lot in my career in terms of new store openings, fresh looks, refits, you name it, I've done it.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
The thing is, I haven't been to any other organisation.
Right,
so
okay.
I went to uni. I went to university in 1995. I did an environmental science degree. Got 2-1 in that. Came out, didn't really know what to do really.
Right, yeah.
And then decided I had a Saturday job, which a lot of people do. And then once I'd finished university, they offered me a full-time position, and then basically worked my way up.
Your way up, yeah, that's amazing. Wow. And tell us a little bit about your day-to-day job here, Jamie. So what is it you do like on a daily basis as part of your job role?
Right, okay, so I'm sort of the custodian for things like health and safety, food safety, general operation, like operational. Mm-hmm. I have an operational manager who works in the store as well, but I'm the kind of the overseer, the figurehead.
So you overlook it all.
I do. We have a store manager kind of day in the life that we follow. So it's one-to-ones, meetings, huddles, cuddles. You know what I mean? And also we get involved in sort of decarding the shop, tidying the shop.
And how many employees are there in the Gravesend branch?
250.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's quite a bit. I had 160 in my last store in Welling. That's just on the skirts of London. So this is the biggest shop that I've run.
What sort of training did you need to get into this job role and position that you're in today?
I guess the bit for me, I came in as a Saturday boy.
Yeah.
Got the sort of on-the-job training from then, and then basically did my university. I didn't do the graduate scheme. There was a graduate scheme at that time, but I didn't. I worked from shop floor to top floor,
Brilliant.
So I did the kind of the harder thing where I proved myself and got to first department manager. Do you know what I mean? It was a controller back then. We were called a department controller. So that was my first real position. Then I did meat manager, grocery manager, and then I did assistant deputy manager. So, and then because they had assistant deputy managers back then I worked into a deputy manager. Yeah. Then I went out into the field. So I've never really, obviously I had an interview at stages for obviously my first proper department role. And in terms of training for that, we did, it's a long time ago, but we did modules, and you had to do certain things for that.
For that position,
for that position. But I did it through that rather than the graduate scheme where it was a different...
So you went down the different route of doing things.
Yeah, and then literally, I guess the bit for me is that through your journey, you're learning and you're on the job.
Of course.
And then obviously you then learn different departments by taking them up and then learning into those roles. And pick up all
these skills as well along the way, don't you?
So in terms of Morrisons, there's they're called my roles. So there's my role training for certain departments.
Right, okay.
So you can, even as a colleague, you can learn more skills.
As you're progressing. Yeah, of course.
And I guess the bit for me, if you're starting now in Morrisons as a colleague, there is definitely a path. They call it pathways. Yeah. So you can definitely kind of join pathways. So if you're a good colleague that wants a career in retail, there is definitely a path to doing that.
Pathway for you. Yeah.
And it's set out in terms of like they'll give you modules to do, learning to do, training to do.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
And then you develop yourself into that role.
That's awesome.
And also they've got the graduate scheme
as well.
As well. So that's a path that you can do. So I've got a young guy called Bertie at the moment who's just finished uni.
Right. Okay.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
Not really doesn't really know what to do because it's a limit at the minute.
Of course.
So he's then said, look, I've got my university degree. Is there a potential for me to join the graduate scheme or do the pathway scheme? So we've got options. So I've kind of pushed him towards the graduate, but also developing him while he's a colleague.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
that's amazing.
it's just looking at from a business. We look at the colleagues with potential. If I was someone who wished for a career kind of thing with a bit of stability in there as well, there is definitely a path to progress.
To progress on that road,
And it is a safe, clean, isn't it? Environment to work in.
Definitely,
It doesn't really matter what the weather's doing. But it is, and also it's a very good atmosphere.
Absolutely, and I felt that as I walked in today.
There's 250 colleagues out there that want to do well for the general public.
Absolutely.
It's
good.
Oh,
that's amazing. Thank you for that, Jamie.
Right.
That's great. What do you enjoy most about your job roles? What's the one thing that you really enjoy doing?
I guess the bit for me is getting a job satisfaction through other people.
Of course.
So if we're succeeding in a certain thing, like whether it be sales or waste of markdown or presentation or anything like customer satisfaction, anything like that. It used to be about me, about what I did, but now I get a sense of worth from seeing someone getting that.
Of course, seeing someone else progress in your team.
So as you go up, it's about what your team do, not just what you do. I also get a bit of sense of satisfaction. So sometimes I'll work something or present something or I'll dress something or I'll do something out. Do you mean it's about? I still get a sense of pride from just doing the basics,
doing that job role. Yeah, of course.
But like I said, also if we like with the environmental health come in and you've got a really good, clean, safe store, it gives you that sense of pride.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's not just what I do; it's what
as a team, what you do. Yeah.
So I guess the higher up I've got, the more I've understood it's about a team effort.
That's fantastic.
Not from an individual.
Of course.
Because when I was a young lad, it was just about what I did.
That's amazing to hear. Oh, fantastic stuff. And what advice would you give to young people who are watching this interview today who want to get into retail in the future? So have you got any words of wisdom or any personal advice for them?
I guess the bit for me is don't necessarily... if you don't really know what you want to do in life, retail is not. It is a good career. Yeah. It can be a good that will provide for your family, for your future, your mortgage. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It can provide that. Don't think shop work. It actually is a good career, and you can get quite high up with the right mentality and the right sort of behaviours.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And if you're got great common sense, you need common sense in retail as well. If you've got great common sense and you love working with people and with your hands and very hands-on, it's the right career for you.
So just a couple more questions. So going forward in the future, what are your ambitions for the store, for yourself?
Ambitions, crikey. For the store is to, one, push the Amazon partnership.
Of course,
Get better availability for the customer. Always striving for the best and the cleanest store in town. Yeah. That's one of the and great customer service from the team. I guess from me is semi-retirement, I guess. I've done my bit. By the time I retire, I would have done nearly 35 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think I'd like my own business.
Of course,
eventually. Open up a coffee house or something like that.
That sounds really, really good.
I want I guess I've got a plan in place, like a 3 month, 6 month, 9 month a yearly plan for Gravesend.
Yeah.
To push it to that level. Do you know what I mean?
That's fantastic.
Of greatness, but things happen. You don't always achieve what you want to, but you need to keep going with it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we wish you all the very best of luck, Jamie, in the future. We hope it all goes well for you. Thank you for joining us today. You've been great, and thank you for the interview. It's been amazing.
Cool.
We hope you've all enjoyed watching today. Stay tuned for another episode next week.